I learned 5 important things during my weekend playing the Monsters and Memories community beta test. Number 1, I am now a small business owner. Number 2, boats are trauma. Number 3, darkness is optional. Number 4, names are very important. And number 5, I have a strong opinion about alts. I went into the community beta test weekend expecting a normal MMO experience. You know, quests, leveling, maybe a few deaths. Instead, I got economic exploitation, emotional damage, and an uncomfortable amount of self-reflection. So let's talk about what actually happened. Number 1, I am now a small business owner. So there are vendors in the game called shifty vendors, which sounds like someone you should not trust, but they will buy almost anything from you for absolutely terrible prices. But here's the twist. They also sell items for way less than specialized vendors, like roughly 2/3 the price. Which means, welcome to arbitrage. You can literally buy things from a shifty vendor and then sell them to the correct vendor for a profit. This is not a game mechanic. This is a career path. And it gets worse. You can also buy quest items that other players sold and turn them in yourself for rewards. A group mate of mine, who I will absolutely expose here for educational purposes, was buying Ashira tails from the cook and then turning them into old Rankle at the tannery for a repeatable quest that gives experience and random leather armor. And that armor sold for more than the tails cost. So this man was printing money. I know he's going to give me the side eye for sharing that, but honestly, no one watches past 2 minutes anyway. If you made it this far, you are a rare and special viewer. Consider liking the video because it's really just you I'm talking to from here on out. Now here's the part they don't tell you. Knowing where to sell things is actually a skill in this game. Before I sold anything, I would go to the bathhouse in Night Harbor, soak in stagnant water for a 10+ charisma buff, because apparently I need to be clean and persuasive before I commit economic manipulation. And then I'd make my rounds to all the vendors. After a few trips, you actually start to memorize the routes. I even named the vendors. Hey Bob, how's cobbling today? I've got a pair of tattered sandals with your name on it. People are reporting significant profits just from selling things correctly. So yeah, I didn't log in to play an MMO. I logged in to start a small business. Number 2, boats are trauma. I decided to take a boat from Night Harbor to Felindrel. And listen, if you're an old school MMO player, you already know this is about to become a shared trauma story. The boat makes multiple stops, it zones several times, and during one of those zones, the game crashed. Straight to the meat spinner. It was 2 a.m., and honestly, that felt like the universe telling me to go to bed. But in that moment, I had a full flashback to EverQuest and the Ocean of Tears, where if your game crashed mid-boat ride, you didn't log back in safely. Nope, you logged back in into the middle of the ocean. Just you, a few curse words, and several high-level aquatic mobs that had already decided your fate. If you were lucky, you swam for 10 minutes and found an island. If you were unlucky, your corpse was now a permanent part of the ocean floor, and that problem was not getting solved. So, the next day I logged back into Monsters and Memories, fully prepared to relive that experience. And instead, I'm still on the boat. On the boat. Alive, safe, I'm not drowning? What? Now, am I going the correct direction? Absolutely not. But I am on a boat. And I will take lost at sea on a boat over dead at sea in the middle of nowhere every single time. Number 3, darkness is optional. Oh, I'm gonna get hate for this. Do not take infravision as your non-combat trait. I didn't notice a difference. I compared characters with it, without it. Same darkness, same suffering, same me squinting at my screen like I'm trying to read fine print. Meanwhile, gamma settings, life-changing. Just crank that bad boy up to 100. No one needs to know. It's your little secret. And before anyone comes for me with that breaks immersion argument, let's talk about science. A delightful viewer pointed out that your eyes adjust to darkness through something called dark adaptation. Your pupils dilate almost instantly, and within 10 to 15 minutes, you can see reasonably well in the dark. Now let's apply that same logic to the game. Where I'm at right now, it's dark from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m., so doing the math conversion on a 12-hour night cycle, good God, I'm doing math, that's less than a minute in-game for your eyes to fully adjust. So technically, if you just stand in the dark for a minute and then crank the gamma, you are role-playing correctly. Just say your rhodopsin kicked in and boom, scientific roleplay. You're welcome. Number 4. Names actually matter here. This game has something called a play nice policy. It means that you don't ruin the game for other people. And one of the places this shows up the most is names. Names in this game actually have rules. And they have to be immersive and appropriate and not designed to bait reactions. Which sounds small until you've played other MMOs. Because let me tell you a quick story. Back in the day, I had an EQ druid named Amberlyn. Go ahead, Google Amber Lynn. Unless you're at work, do not Google Amber at work. I'll wait. This'll be fun. Yeah, I had no idea. I spelled it differently. I spelled it as one word with one N, but it didn't matter. I still got comments. Constantly. At some point, I had to make a decision. Do I report every lewd interaction or do I just change my name? So I petitioned a GM to change it, and at first they said no, because technically the names were different. So I said, okay, what's the expectation here? That I just report every dick comment I receive, or does the game endorse solicitation? Yeah, they changed my name, and that experience stuck with me because names in MMOs aren't just labels. They're your identity, they're your reputation, they are how people interact with you before you even say a word. And what I noticed in Monsters and Memories is that people actually respect that. The names feel like they belong in the world. They're not jokes, they're not memes, they're not trying to get a reaction. And because of that, the interactions feel better too. It's subtle, but it matters. This is one of the first games in a long time where I felt like people care, and it shows. Number 5. I care about alts more than I should. I consider this an alt-friendly game. Now, before anyone argues with me in the comments, let me define what that actually means, because people have very strong opinions about this. My definition of alt-friendly is simple. There needs to be an incentive to try other classes. You need at least a couple of character slots, and most importantly, there needs to be a way to share things between your characters. Alts are very important to me, like non-negotiable. I typically won't play a game if I can't have an alt. Now, to be fair, you could argue that this game is alt unfriendly because it's old school, it's slow, everything takes time. Leveling multiple characters is a commitment, and multi-boxing is covered in the Play Nice rules. You're not casually spinning up 5 alts like you're running a high-stakes gold farming operation. This game is a long-term investment, but that's not my definition. I think Monsters and Memories wants you to enjoy the alt experience. Because when I played, I was able to create 8 characters pretty easily. And with around 18 distinct classes, there's a clear incentive to try different roles. It feels like the developers want you to experiment. And then there's the big one, shared bank space. Now the space is small, like 2 item slots and some coin, but I don't care. It's huge in terms of convenience, especially in a game that most decidedly is inconvenient. Because that tells me this system is intentional. It's not an accident. This is a design decision that says, yes, you're allowed to have alts here. Now there is a catch. The shared bank in Night Harbor was not available to my alt in Falindril. So it does seem to be restricted by town, which is inconvenient. So the devs, you got one in. But still, the fact that it exists at all, that's enough for me. So yes, some people are going to disagree with me on this, and that's fine. But based on my criteria, this is an alt-friendly game. So those are 5 things I learned playing Monsters and Memories over the community beta test weekend. If you got to play in the community beta test or are enjoying your closed beta access, what's something you've learned? Share it in the comments below. And if you made it this far and still haven't liked and subscribed, I'm going to assume that I just lost you on the Amber Lynn search, and that's on me. Yep. Until next time, keep exploring. I'll see you in the next world. It's a shorty named Penny. Oh, let's send her a tell. Hey, Penny, you have my name. Can I get a screenshot? It appears Penny is ignoring me. That's fine. I'll just follow her around. Is that in the Play Nice rules? Can I stalk someone like I'm acting out a police song? Every game you play, every night you stay, I'll be watching you. Did you hear that, Penny? I'll be watching you.